For listeners, I'll be going to the package com.w2a.listeners and I'll gonna add a new class over here and name it as custom listeners. Right. Now this class will actually going to implement one of the interface that is provided by TestNG, that is iTest listener. Right. So we need to import it. As soon as you import this through TestNG.org, it provides you all the methods from the listener interface that you need to actually implement over here, right? So you can see as the name suggests, on finish, on start. So these listeners will gonna invoke before your test is started or once the test is successfully executed, right? And similarly, you'll see on test failure, right? On test failure, on test success. So if a test is successfully executed, if you want to do anything, this will be invoked, right? So what I want that I want to capture like a screenshot, and I want to add the screenshot in case of failure. So instead of writing this code over here, the code that we have actually written in case of pass, right? So let's say if I want to do the same thing in case of failure, how would you do it in each test cases? So if you want to implement like something that get captures in a failure, so probably you will be adding a try catch block, something like this. Add a try block, right? And then whenever any exception is there, it should go inside a catch block, and you can say, let's say, throwable t, and inside this you're gonna add a code for capturing a screenshot, right? Same thing we're gonna do in our next class. We're gonna add a try catch, and we'll be doing it. If we have 100 test cases, 100 times we need to implement these things, right? So instead of doing it like this, the listeners are best approach to implement these things. So we can just copy this code that we have actually written over here. We'll remove this from our test case and we'll implement this inside the listener, right? So listener will gonna say report.log. So first it will gonna say reporter.log, let's say capturing screenshot, right? So we're gonna write the actual code for capturing screenshot over here. Right now I'm just hard coding it, right? Even I've hard coded the screenshot path. So we'll be taking it on the runtime, right? Whenever there is a failure. Now, again, the thing that we have added over here in initially that system.set property, this flag, I'm gonna remove it from here, and I'm gonna add this flag over here because we are actually generating this thing over here, right? So this listener will get invoked. We need to invoke it from the test.ng XML file from the listener blog itself, right? So I'll copy this tag once again, and the class name I'm gonna give it is com.w2a.listener. Let's see, this is the package that we have actually given over here. Listeners, so this is listeners com.w2a.listeners, and then the class name is custom listeners. So copy this class name and give it over here. Right. So listeners will always going to invoke from the test.ng XML file. Right. So if I run this thing now, at the moment we are not failing any test case. So you're not going to see anything on your report ng report. Right. So if I go over here and refresh this, you're not going to see any screenshots, right? Because all the tests are successfully executed. Now, if I fail these tests, if the test gets failed, let us forcefully fail this test. How to fail a test? We can simply write assert dot fail and give a message that is login not successful, right? And now if I run this thing again, you're going to see that this listener will get invoked, and you're going to see the screenshot should get attached to the failure. So let's see. So out of two, one got failed. The login as bank manager got failed, right? Login not successful. If I refresh this, in the first test, you're gonna see login not successful, all the assertion error, right? A screenshot link, a screenshot image. Click on this. This is the failure screenshot, right? And in the past one, you're not gonna see any screenshots. Right, so these things can be achieved using listener. Now wherever we have a failure, if both the test case fails, if I write over here, let's say assert.fail, and over here I'm gonna say uh, customer not added successfully, right? So if I run, you'll find both the test will gonna contain the screenshots. So right now the screenshot part is hard coded, so we're going to see the same screenshot on both the test cases. But at times when we capture it on a runtime, we're going to see that both test cases will going to contain different screenshots. See a screenshot over here, a screenshot over here. Both has got different messages, right? So this is how, when you have so many test cases, you're gonna see the failure will gonna have the screenshot attached, and all the pass will gonna will not gonna have any screenshot attached with it. So this is like you're customizing it in your own way. If you want the same thing, the same screenshot to be captured in case of a success as well, so you can add this code. You can add the code that we have implemented in on test failure. You can add the same code in on test success as well. So whenever the test is successfully executed, it will going to capture a screenshot over there as well, right? So this is how, I mean, the listeners are very helpful, so that we need not to write this code again and again. It is once implemented, whenever that particular event occurred, that particular listener will get invoked, right?